welcome to Flight Deck Live. I am Tim Capper. Welcome to BMO Field in Toronto, where I'm just going to start off and saying it, where shock the world.
And I'm Cliffy D, and I have one word to describe what happened. Victory!
The Alouettes knock off the Toronto Argonauts, the 16-2 Toronto Argonauts, 38-17 to advance to the Grey Cup for the very first time since 2010. Cliff, this was a game where the defense stood out. They were one of the main reasons why this Alouettes team was able to knock off this very strong Toronto Argonauts team.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and they set the tone right away. The very first series, the Argos had the ball, drove down the field, and guess what happened? Marc-Antoine Dequoy with the pick six.
And that was just things to come. That was the things to come for this defense today.
It set the tone. It set the tone for this defense to play the game of their lives. And not only did Marc-Antoine Dequoy have a pick six, Kabion Ento had a pick six. Kabion Ento, who earlier this year struggled mightily against these same Toronto Argonauts, but my God, he played a grown man's game today. He was absolutely outstanding. Reggie Stubblefield, what more can we say about this guy that we've talked about all year long? He played outstanding too. He had a pick. He was just incredible. Everybody on this defense played outstanding football this afternoon.
It wasn't very good at the very beginning for the Alouettes, obviously, because going in at halftime, yes, the Owls were up, but they had given already up 5 sacks. Toronto had already committed 4 turnovers, but we had only 7 points to show for it. So they came out in the second half and they just did everything that they could. Toronto had 9 turnovers today.
Wow.
9 turnovers, and we don't know where that is going to be rating in the annals of playoff history in the CFL. But 9 turnovers, you're not going to win a game with 9 turnovers.
No, even if you were 16-2 during the regular season, and also, can we say the curse of being 16-2 is very much alive and well, because back in 1989, the Edmonton football franchise also posted a 16-2 record and lost the Western Final to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So maybe go 15-3. If you go 15-3, you might make it to the Grey Cup, but 16-2, you're out of luck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a certain things. I mean, beginning of the first half, the O-line was not playing very well. I think it was 5 total sacks in the first half. Owls were up 10-3 at halftime. Was it 10-3 at halftime? 10-3 at halftime. But the second half, they just came out, showed up. Both the offense and defense just played their asses off. And was able to control this game from kickoff to the very end of the game. And it's bad, Cliff, when the fans here are booing a 16-2 team, considering the year that Chad Kelly had.
Oh, yeah. And listen, Chad Kelly is still a phenomenal quarterback, but, man, today was not his day. And the fans here at BMO Field definitely let him know about it, too. I mean, the fact that the Argonauts, didn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter, I think that says a lot.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, and we also have been talking about Cody Fajardo, consistent Cody, 18-25, 175, 1-1. I know the defense had 4 interceptions for Chad Kelly.
Yep. Including the 2 pick sixes.
Yep. Leading rusher was Cody Fajardo with 38 yards. Leading receiver for the Alouettes was Tyson Philpott, 5 receptions on 6 targets. But one of the touchdowns did go to Tyler Snead, a perfectly placed ball right through a defender for that touchdown that basically put the Owls at the stake.
Yeah, and let's not forget, special teams was also very good today.
Man.
James Letcher, another house call. He had one in Edmonton against the Elks. He had one against Hamilton at Percival Wilson Stadium. And in the biggest game, arguably, of his life, here at BMO Field, once again, a house call.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and obviously he has stepped up, and stepped out ever since being added to the starting roster with Chandler Worthy going down. So
yeah. Folks, I hesitate to use the term team of destiny, but this is clearly a team of destiny. And that narrative right now of the Alouettes are good against all the lesser opponents, can't beat the top-tier teams. Well, guess what? They just beat a top-tier team, and they are going to the Grey Cup at Tim Hortons Field, where, by the way, they are undefeated in 2023.
We were mentioning it before, too, that how all the prognosticators, all the sports books, Alouettes at a 10.5-point underdog, smashed it out of the Park. You know what? Sometimes 16, usually in most cases, 16 wins does get you to a championship.
It should.
But in this case, in this funny game we call the Canadian Football League, not this time around. You know, again, the Alouettes are going to be advancing to the Grey Cup. First time again since 2010. A lot more to talk about this week on the podcast. Cliffy will already be in Hamilton when we do broadcast the show this week, and I'm going to try to get my butt over to Hamilton somehow to at least experience the Alouettes in the Grey Cup.
And I'm letting you folks know right now, we will be doing a lot of coverage. As soon as I get to Hamilton, I've got a lot planned, and we're going to make this happen, folks. This is huge. This is the first time in our podcast history that the Alouettes are going to be in the Grey Cup. We are going to be there. We are going to be covering it. We are going to be providing so much content for each and every one of you. So if you're not subscribed right now, hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Whatever it is, however you're following us, however you're paying attention to us, you got to make sure you're on board for us because, ladies and gentlemen, the Montreal Alouettes, for the first time since 2010, are going to the Grey Cup.
It is, for you longtime Alouettes fans, we are just as proud of that team as you are. And again, as Cliffy said, this is our first time advancing to the Grey Cup as a podcast team, and we're just happy to be able to bring you all information and all the news that we can this week because it's going to be just one giant. It's going to be such an experience, I can tell you, needless to say.
I mean, the nerves are going to be crazy. I know this is exciting. Like right now, we are on a big high. There's no question about that. We're going to enjoy this. Tonight, we are going to have some fun. We're going to enjoy ourselves, but the work is just about to begin for this team.
It is, and I'm going to leave it with one thing here. The Alouettes today only had 197 net yards of offense, but yet they put up 38 points. Obviously, again, 14 points coming off of turnovers. More than that, I think 17 points off of turnovers, if I'm not mistaken.
Once again, defense wins championships.
Toronto had almost 400 yards of total offense. Almost 400 yards. But the thing is, a lot of that did come in garbage time, and I think a lot of it was in that first drive itself for the Alouettes, for the Argonauts. So, again, we are just over the moon right now, and what more can we say? But we're going to have a fun week. We hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast, and we will be talking to you next week from the pod on Wednesday, and a lot to come from Hamilton for the 110th Grey Cup as the Alouettes defeated the Toronto Argonauts 38-17 and advance to Grey Cup 110.
Tim, this is so exciting. This is absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful that we've been able to do this all year. When we started doing these lives, we weren't sure where it was going to go. We weren't sure what was going to happen. We had some hiccups along the way too, folks. There's no question about that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But I'm so excited. We are going to the Grey Cup, and I promise you, folks, you join us for the ride. I can't promise good times. I can't promise a victory for the Alouettes, but my God,
it's just the experience, man.
Please, if you're not already, please join us along for the ride.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to thank each and every one of you that has tuned in, that will be tuning in to. You'll find us on our YouTube page afterwards. Yep. So if you miss this live, check us out again. But again, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're notified. Wow, this is incredible, Tim.
Yeah, agreed. So let us go after driving such a great long distance to see this win. We're exhausted, but we're going to go celebrate. So again, Alouettes advance to Grey Cup 110. We'll find out who their opponent's going to be. So for everybody here at now an empty BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario, for Cliffy D, I'm Tim Capper. Talk to you soon. Go Owls, go.